What's one thing people do that makes you pissed off? Whenever nobody believes you when you're telling the truth. People usually know me to tell the truth, but I have a terrible tendency to smile and laugh like I'm guilty. Ducking same. Whenever anyone accuses me of anything, even if I'm 100% not guilty, I smile and sometimes even laugh. It's so annoying because people just don't trust me because of it. I generally like to think I'm a pretty honest person. But that happens to me too. I remember at school, when I was young, a teacher said you have a guilty face. That has stuck with me. Bitch. Wow, what an asshole of a teacher you had. When someone accuses me of doing something I actually didn't do, boy, that makes me furious. And then they don't believe your story/alibi. Or they accuse you of getting defensive and act like saying I didn't do it isn't a natural reaction to being accused of something you didn't do. Right, being defensive because you are defending yourself is not proof that you did it. Few can PPL who accuse you of things you did or do are irrational when they think you should not defend yourself. Refuse to believe things which are objectively true simply because it offends or upsets them. Yeah, it's really frustrating when people are so deep into their beliefs that it's pretty much impossible to change their mind. It pisses me off when they start calling you a sheep for believing something that's objectively provable and observable even by layman's standards. You know, stuff you don't need to be a scientist or some kind of genius to understand. I was on Facebook the other day and someone asked why all the schools needed to be open for in-person classes right now. I was like, yo, kids are basically little petri dishes. Pandemic or not. Some other MF went on a semi-incoherent self-righteous rant about how I'm a brainwashed sheep. I've seen a picture floating around Facebook about how normalizing wearing a mask is supporting child trafficking and pedophilia, and basically anyone who's okay with wearing a mask is okay with pedos stealing kids. Try saying anything about coronavirus and wearing masks and get called a sheep and a dumbocrat who hates kids. I saw a post where they took their little girl and put a hat and boy's shirt and shorts on over her clothes. They then went on a rant about how it only took 3 minutes to completely change her look, but that it was somehow just the mask that changed the kid's look, not the hat, shorts, or shirt. No, just the mask. Interrupting when someone is speaking. I've started just talking louder and powering through whenever I can. Even though they're clearly not listening to a word I'm saying, maybe they'll realize just how rude they're being. I've tried this, but I end up stopping because there is something in me that doesn't want to interrupt other people talking, even though I'm the one being interrupted. Whenever somebody does this to me, I also just stop talking. I generally don't start again either. I hate when people act like something doesn't happen because they haven't seen it or don't know someone has had it happen to them. Did you have COVID? Do you know anyone that's had it? By that logic, Fiji does not exist because I've never been and don't know anyone that has. Will you please stop this? Fiji is real propaganda. Littering. There's so much duck and trash everywhere as it is. Why do you need to be such a lazy bitch? Throwing air candy wrappers out of the car window. Greg, I'm a smoker, and I know that filters are one of the most littered pieces of trash. So I always put the filters back in my pack if there isn't an ashtray nearby. I'm a smoker too, and nothing pisses me off more than seeing people just casually flicking their butts out their car windows. I have one of those cup holder ashtrays. I was in the backseat of a coworker's car and watched them flick their cigarette butt out the window in the middle of a Texas summer and drought. A minute or so later, I looked back and the whole grassy median was on fire. I'm not saying that he caused a fire, but he definitely caused that fire. Smokey the Bear would like to know his location. When a group of people walk slowly and shoulder to shoulder in aisles, sidewalks or corridors. Yes. Yes. Thanks for the human blockade, now move out of the way. The rule in most schools now, if you defend yourself when the other person throws a punch, you will be suspended for fighting. The logic behind this bothers me to no end. The school district where I grew up will now suspend you, even if you don't defend yourself, and just take the hit. It was already beyond act, and now it's even worse. I don't have kids, But if my child got suspended because they got beat up at school, I'd be hiring every goddamn attorney in the county to sue the school and take it all the way up to the Supreme Court if necessary. I'd be so damn pissed. I'd keep litigating that shit as far as I could, just out of principle, assuming I had unlimited monies. Teach your kid you will be punished by the school either way. So make it a good hit. You won't get in shit at home unless you are the problem. Exactly what we told our daughter. We don't care how much trouble she'd get in at school, because she wouldn't be in trouble with us. We'd go and see the teachers about it if she got in trouble for defending herself. I got bullied for literally one day at school as a kid. Told my mom, and she told me to just hit the cunt next time I saw him. So I did just that and never got bullied again. I said his name. He turned round and I bopped him right on the nose. In fact, I got a bit of a rep as a little crazy dude you don't mess with, which is preferable to being a bullied kid. People who drive their cars while looking at their cell phones. I nearly got run over by a driver a few years ago who was on her mobile phone. Thankfully she stopped just in time. She didn't apologize either, just shrugged at me as if I was in the wrong and drove off. Should have gotten a license plate pic, though in reality I know no one can think or react that quickly, just to show her. I wish I had. I was just taken aback at how little she actually cared that she ran somebody over. Shocking behavior really. Agreed. Super rough. But good on you for the way you handled it. People who have the sound on their phones turned up so you can hear them typing, and every notification they get, also those that have the flash on for their notifications. Why the hell would anyone want that? Or people who take phone calls on speaker mode in public with the volume all the way up. So incredibly rude. No one else cares about your conversation or wants to hear it. Answer the person on the other end of the call like it's a group conversation. Playing music in a public place. No respect at all for those people. For some reason people think it's okay to do this on the bus where I live, and it pisses me right off, especially since I have earphones in and I can't even hear my music cause this is so loud. Same here. People blast music on the bus all the time. I always want to ask if they've heard of headphones, but also don't want to start a fight. When they're banned and their duty to reason. We are entitled to our own opinions, but not our own facts. This is lost on a significant portion of the world population. We are entitled to our own opinion, but not our own facts. This is beautiful, and I will steal it. Talk shit when they have no idea about things on a subject you do know about, but they keep saying you're wrong. ARRRG. I want a baby snake, so it grows up to bond with me. Snakes can't actually bond with you. They'll just recognize that you feed it. That's not true. Snakes can totally love their owners. I just looked it up. Says right here they lack the capacity for it. Did you seriously just Google that? You're such an asshole. My sister has this habit of telling me I should do this after I just said I'm going to do it. For example, I'm not exactly sure how the convo went, but I told my sister something along the lines of yeah, I'm going to call and ask her, and she replied with yeah, you should call and ask her. Oh really? IDKY. It frustrates me so much when she does stuff like this, because how do you want me to respond to that? Tell you you're right for repeating what I said? Lol. My mom does this thing where I'll say I'm going to do something, and then before there's any reasonable chance I would have possibly been able to do that thing, she says, did you ever do this? Like, it's 7 PM and it'll say, yeah. It'll probably call the dentist about it. Then at 7 o'clock the next morning she'll ask, did you ever call the dentist? WTF. My mom does the exact same thing, but mere seconds after she asked first. Like, no mum, I'm not the ducking Flash. Obviously you're not the Flash, since your mom hasn't been murdered yet. Give themselves awards. LMAO. I hate everything about your username. Sick. I love that you do. Sick. Just trolling the universe. Animal cruelty. Same. Slaughterhouse footage is flat out impossible for me to watch. People talking during a movie. My friend and I had a theater to ourselves once, and it was dope as hell to make jokes during the movie without annoying anyone else. My mom likes to sing along to songs she knows when they play in a movie. It's embarrassing as hell when there are others around us in the theater, but super fun when it's just us. There are two kinds of people in this world. One is the type who waits on a long annoying line and uses that time to get their materials and questions ready when it's their turn. They try to make their time there as efficient as possible so others don't have to wait as long. The other type waits and deliberately takes their time when it's their turn, even taking extra time, getting their stuff, asking extra questions, chit-chatting, because they feel they deserve after having to wait so long. The second type just burns my toast. That also boils my biscuits. It really grates my cheese, you guys. It gets my knickers in a twist, grinds my gears. No thief lost an argument, so they just start insulting the other person. To be fair, some people are so ignorant and stupid that nothing but insults come to mind when trying to reason with them. Turn signals are pretty easy to operate. Yes, why is that such an issue for most drivers? Is the purpose of a turn signal just lost on them? I compulsively signal. I live at a dead end, and I still signal to turn in my driveway. Lawful good. In chaotic evil, I turn down a dead end, do a U-turn, turn back down a normal road, and then turn on my blinker and keep it on for 3 miles to confuse everyone. People like this piss me off more than people that don't use their blinker. Attention seekers make my blood boil. Even worse, attention seekers that constantly get given attention. This, if your life is so sad that you need the attention, I pity you more than anything. But when people fall for it, not using common sense just bugs me. Everybody thinks they are using common sense though. When someone treats you nicely and friendly, but talk shit about you to other people. Two-faced assholes. Two assed faceholes. I got the image of an ass with two human faces on either side. Bullying. I'll add on to that. People who say bullying is fine and toughens kids up. It worked for me, a bit. I was bullied throughout most of junior high and high school by two skinheads. After quite a few years, I'm ashamed to say, I stood up to them and was amazed that they could understand the words coming out of my mouth. But, believe it or not, they saw the error in their ways, quit thinking so caveman-like, and we actually became friends until graduation. Moral of the story, true. BTW. Don't judge a book by its cover just because they are Jewish. People who tell me to do a thing when I'm about to do that thing, and then it looks like you don't know what you're doing, and they're showing you how to do it. Nothing multiple people do really makes me mad, but there is this one thing that my mom does often. It's something that shouldn't make me mad. She'll walk past my door and tell me to do something and tap on my door a couple times afterwards. It bugs the hell out of me, or being told to do something you are going to do just makes you not want to do it. Or knock on the door and 3 nanoseconds later open it without giving me time to hide my stash or chocolate or whatever. Knocking means may I enter, not I'm entering. I do not understand how people cannot seem to grasp this. I'm both respecting your privacy by knocking, but asserting my authority as your father by coming in anyway. When someone sends me an voice message because they are too lazy to type, but the message is 2 minutes them just thinking how they were going to say something. 2 minutes murm 30 seconds info. This lets me rage. Don't waste my time with you trying to think. Do it in your head, then compress it in words for me. I just don't reply to voice messages, either type it out or call my phone. I'm not playing a message out loud, especially in public. IDK what you're gonna say. People who fake anxiety and depression, I have both and it's not fun. Please duck off. The sad part is some people are skeptical whenever someone reaches out now. I've had someone tell me to stop faking it and grow up once. One of the many reasons why I don't talk about or seek help for my problems in this day and age. I like your username. Thanks kind Redditor, and don't forget to give the Covenant back their bomb. Thinking that COVID is fake and they think they don't need a mask. My favorite is when they will hold the door open at a store and think they have rescued Western civilization, but won't wear a mask. People who wear their masks below their nose. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.